EMC.
What up, world? Wordsworth, EMC. How y'all doing? It's your boy Stricklin representing EMC.
And the way we came together was back in 2001. I put out an album called Disposable Arts, and we all went on tour together for the first time. We went out to Europe, we toured Europe, and from that point, just kind of created a friendship, a kinship, and we started traveling around for the next probably 5 years, 6 years on the road together. Fans got used to seeing us on stage together, and it just kind of morphed into this idea of, why don't you guys do a group? And so we tried it out and put a song out. People reacted to it, loved it, was excited about it, and that sparked us to go in the studio and make our first studio album, which came out back in 2008. And now we're back 2015 with the Tonight Show, and we're excited about it.
Nice. Ace, why don't you introduce the other members of the group and tell them how they contribute to the whole album as a whole?
Well, first of all, we got my man Wordsworth right here from Brooklyn, New York, and I'll let him tell you how he contributed to the album.
I just try to come up with some witty things to say, some various flows, and come up with some ideas. If I heard a track or something, come up with an idea, try to lay it down, see if the brothers like it, and then vice versa. And that's pretty much where I come to play with the album.
Thank you. So introduce this man right here.
This is my man Stricklin. My man Stricklin, Midwest Milwaukee,
And I would just like to interject and add on to Words. He had a little bit bigger role. He brought a lot of the beats to the project. Words, a lot of producers Words works on side projects with, and brought them to the table with beats for EMC. So he did a little bit more than what he talked about. Myself personally, I contributed with just trying to keep up with these guys lyrically. You know what I'm saying? I add kind of a different sound to the group, twang-wise. Like I'm from the Midwest, so you can definitely tell that I'm from a different place than these two guys. So I think that's refreshing to the ear.
Yeah,
Everybody doesn't sound the same. So I bring that to the table. I sung a hook on the album on a song called I Like You Like. So I do that sometimes, and basically just trying to keep up with these cats, man.
That's a good look.
Yeah,
Ace, talk about how you come up with the theme for the album, The Tonight Show, which I think is a hot idea. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Well, the way the theme of the album came together was this. Our first album was called The Show, came out in 2008, and we kind of talked about it and decided that we wanted to do something similar to what EPMD used to do, which is they had business in every single title of the album. So this is our second album. We had a bunch of different titles on the table, and Tonight Show was the one that won out. Once we had that title, I had to figure out a way to make that title make sense in the concept of some sort of a story. And so I just kind of sat down and thought about how the Tonight Show could be turned into an album theme, and how the songs would work around it, and what our role would be. And so I, basically sat down and wrote up this concept of us being the musical guests on the Tonight Show and flying out to be the musical guest on the Tonight Show. But I give the fans an inside look at what's happening behind the scenes, everything that leads up to us actually getting on the stage. So you get a chance to hear from, a well-renowned comedian, Russell Peters, who plays the host of the show. He has guests on his couch, Rosie Perez, comedian Tony Rock, and you really get the experience of it being like a real late night TV show, and we're the musical guests. EMC.
Nice. One thing I like about it, talk about the skits, because you're known for the skits. Talk about how that's missing in the game right now. Nobody's not doing skits anymore. I thought that was a great feel. Yeah. Talk a little bit about the skits and stuff like that you do on the album.
Well, to me, what makes the album fun is not just listening to the individual songs, but the whole entire experience from an entertainment standpoint. I know if I'm listening to a record and there's skits that somehow tie into the album and take you someplace, to me that makes it like a more enjoyable listening experience. And so I felt like, from the time that I first started doing skits, I felt like every record I wanted to have some sort of a storyline around it to help entertain people. So that's why we did it.
Nice. The last question I got for you is talk about digital music. Everything is digital now. In terms of marketing and branding and standing out, What are your thoughts on how you're gonna market yourselves as a group with the whole Spotify, Instagram movement? Yeah, explain that a little bit more.
Well, I mean, the digital age is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. We've had to really adapt as artists who kind of come from the analog era where it was about vinyl and CDs and cassettes. We've had to adapt, and you know, I'm gonna let Words and Strick kind of really tell you a little bit more about what we're doing with social media in order to connect with the fans in a new way, in a new wave of music.
Really, we just make sure we're constantly on the Instagram, the Facebooks, the Twitters, and all of that. We did a video actually called Triple Threat, in which we each used the iPhone from our different locations, so you get 3 different stories at one time going on. So that was a video that we put out and kind of like just threw it out there for the media to get a buzz before we got the real video out, the next video I should say, that was Fly Thoughts. So it's just really staying in touch with the different formats and being creative with putting stuff out. And then also being as a Tonight Show, we have a campaign that's going on, so I'll let Strick tell you about the campaign we started running.
Well, the campaign is hashtag EMC Date with Jimmy. It kind of spawned from a movie called My Date with Drew, where this guy basically tried to get a date with Drew Barrymore, and he filmed his whole process of using like 7 degrees of separation, calling people in and doing crazy things to get next to Drew. So we're gonna film and document our travel of trying to get our date with Jimmy, being Jimmy Fallon, on the Tonight Show.
Nice.
So we have a website, www.emcdatewithjimmy.com. We also like the fans to, when they talk about EMC in the album, to hashtag EMC Date with Jimmy. And basically we just, like Ace was saying, the digital world is here to stay. We gotta try to convince people to support and purchase a CD that they knowingly can get for free. And one way to do it is to just engage with them and become, you know, talkative and friendly with, I don't like to call them fans, but people that enjoy your music, so that they feel comfortable with actually making that purchase when they do like the music. If they do get it for free early, they still want to support when it comes out and buy it. So that's all we ask. And we know that the live show is important, so engaging with the fans also makes them want to come out and see us live. And that's really where we touch a lot of people. Is, you know, we learn from Ace and Ace learned from Kane, and you know, the live show is very important. So this whole social media thing helps us to keep in touch with the fans, because we can talk to people in Germany at the click of a button. So you have to use the social media in a positive way. You know, with the downloading of the albums, that's kind of a negative thing. But for us, it can turn into a positive, because if they like the music, they'll come out and support. So yeah, the EMC Date with Jimmy is the campaign we're using along with the album to get people excited about it, and hopefully one day we'll land on that actual show, and that would be great.